5:30, please rise. Dear God, as we gather this evening, we ask that you influence our hearts and minds so that we can govern this city fairly and justly. We thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed on our community, and we ask your continued protection upon our city staff and crews. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Councilwoman Neese has a little laryngitis, so we're going to have some fun with her tonight.
Thank you so much.
Kelly?
So council had a closed session at 4:30. We are adjourned to open session. Second item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Are there any questions or comments for staff?
I make a motion to accept or to approve the consent agenda.
I'll say. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor, thumbs up.
Next item on the agenda is recognition of guests. First, we have Pat Keith. Welcome, Pat. Okay. Next, we had State Fire Marshal Tim Bean. This has been postponed to next month because the recipient of the award is absent. Next, we received a request for Jeff Lawrence to speak. Jeff, you have 5 minutes to address council.
I'm Jeff Lawrence. I live on Lincoln Avenue and we bought the house there 15 years ago. Since they put that bypass in, the new one by the hospital, there's been lots of semi trucks, the big full size trucks, not just like Armstrong uses. We've never had any trouble with trucks there before. Now we can have as many as 60 trucks a day hauling wood and tires, you just name it, full size semis. Now my house and most of the houses on the west side of the street are on the lower, it's on a hill. And these trucks are passing between 20 and 25 yards from my window to my house. And they're driving at a high, if you've ever been to the light at the 10 spot and they took off when the light turns green, that's what it is at our stop at the stop signs at the end of our street. It's a free for all. They're speeding, they're honking their horns. I had to go out and video just so I had proof, so just my word for the police department. And I won't even say what I've been called and anything, but the problem is one pulled me over at the stop sign. I got out, he's honking his horn and flashes lights. And I said, what is the deal with you guys? He says, I want to know why the hell you're videoing that. That's because you're speeding. I said, my house is 20 feet from your steering wheel. And you guys are driving crazy. I said, what is the deal? He goes, well, the problem is that I have to stop at nine lights. And it's taking time and money and gas. And I Googled the shortcut and it goes right through Lincoln. You know, we have lived there for 15 years and the trucks from Armstrong have never been a problem. I'm not some crazy old fart that don't like noise. I fall asleep with the trucks going, and that if the factory's not running, I had to put a noisy fan on or I can't sleep. But these guys, they're not, when they go slow, the police have been just great with this. I mean, I must have called them 100 times in the last 6 months. And honest to God, gosh, they have been true to their word to serve and protect us like they're supposed to. They're always out there, polite, kind, and tried their best. What they say is it's a civil matter. They can't do anything about the trucks being on the road. Now, for 15 years, we bought that house. And it was, my father-in-law lived there first, and we stayed with him for 6 months, and we saw that it's quiet. It was a nice neighborhood. Now it has issues, but it's like living on the Jan Howard Expressway. There was a house for sale. We bought this one on the highway. We would have bought there. I didn't want to live at a truck stop. I've managed convenience stores and supervised them my whole life. I don't want to hear them like that. It started out as a slow, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes by lunch there's 15, there could be 20, there could be 10. And it can start at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and sometimes at 10 o'clock at night. And I don't know why I can never understand, because I've gotten in the car to follow, see where they're going. They go down to Armstrong and they park and they sleep.
2 minutes.
Sorry, no, you can ask. I feel like I'm in trouble for some reason. Anyway.
She doesn't have that tone.
That's
good.
I wasn't really sure about what was involved with this. I mean, I have videos but on my phone. It's not very professional, but it's not set up in any way that I would feel comfortable. I'd rather have some format some way to give y'all, but the police are aware of the problems there. And they can't actually, I mean, they do cruise it and look, but there's no, when they see them, they don't do anything wrong. That 4-way there at Thornborough. I mean, I told the one policeman, I said, I will give you in an hour, I will give you $5 and put it in writing for every car that stops at that stop sign. I will give you $5. I'll put it in writing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's mostly the Armstrong employees, but I've worked at a factory a long time ago, and you drive the same road every day, you start thinking of it as your personal driveway of where you're working. But I don't know what to, I don't know what to do. I feel like our lives have been rocked.
1 minute.
It's all the noise and just right there by our window.
Right.
And they asked me, I don't really want to complain, because I asked the neighbor, I said, why aren't you guys, I assumed you guys were complaining. Oh, no, we don't want to get involved in that. But the police don't like me. It's like, well, I might be able to see why, but anyway. I just, if you can give me a call, and if I need to give you videos or something for this, but I would really like them just to put a stop on these semis. They're only doing it because they're trying to save gas. And there's one that works on the road going to Lanton. He will go all the way through by my house, all the way through town to that little lumberyard behind that other police department. What is it? I'm never in trouble. Howe County. There's like a little teeny sawmill back there. But all he has to do is take the Stanley bypass and turn there right to Conoco and then Sonic. 100 yards, and there's a driveway for this lumber mill. When he said he told the police, his boss told him he.
That concludes your time. Thank you for your comments, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you for your concern.
Mayor, if I'll jump in, I'll follow up with Mr.
Yeah, I
Lawrence
was
and
gonna
the
say
police
that.
department and see if there's.
Gives us something to discuss, and look into.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, new city clerk Kelly, continue on.
Item number 4 on the agenda is ordinances. The first bill is Bill 4766 to become ordinance 4766, second reading. An ordinance to annex a section of property owned by Justin Huddleston and Kelsey Razor Huddleston into the city limits of West Plains.
I make a motion to approve Bill 4766 to become ordinance 4766, second reading.
A second.
All right, Dustin.
Mayor, council, good evening. This is carryover from last month. This is where we provided utility services outside the city limits, and they've now become adjacent and to fulfill that contract. They're required to annex. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
No discussion. Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle, Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Thanks.
Welcome to the city.
All right. Bill 4767 to become ordinance 4767, first reading. An ordinance to amend chapters 27 nuisance, repeal section 27-2 subsection 6 penalty, and section 27-2 subsection 7, add sections 27-2.1 notice to abate and 27-3.2 penalty, replace section 27-4 weeds.
I make a motion to approve Bill 4767 to become ordinance 4767, first reading.
I second.
Oh,
Good evening. Periodically, I go over the ordinances. I check with a lot of other cities to see different ways that they're handling especially tough cases. And I present my ideas to city attorney and the prosecutor. And hopefully these changes will motivate people to abate quicker. sometimes they get tied up in court because of the backlogged trial dates and such. So I'm hoping that these will, especially like grass, cutting grass. Grass shouldn't sit in court for 6 months. And it's not the court's fault. You know, it's just, they're so full. They do what they can and they're very good at it. I appreciate all of them. So that's basically what these are about. The notice to abate, that was not really stated in the ordinances before on the, you have to notify. So I felt like that was a pretty important part of the ordinance. And then, of course, the penalty section, I think we have simplified it some. And hopefully there again will motivate people to comply. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Kelly? Thank you, Tracy.
Collins,
Yes.
Merle, Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Number 3. Bill 4768 to become ordinance 4768, first reading. An ordinance to approve the adoption of amended budgets for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024.
I make a motion to approve Bill 4768 to become ordinance 4768, first reading.
I second.
Good evening, council. So this is the first amendment that we're going to be making to the fiscal year 2024 budget. This ordinance is generally brought about this time of year after we've had a chance to really true up our invoices and where projects ended in December, so that we have enough information to give you about projects and budgets that need to be moved forward from last year that just simply didn't get finished. So most of the things on this list are things that were under contract by December 31st, but the project or the contract was not completed by the end of the year. So this is moving, basically, if you will, unspent money from 2023 into 2024 to cover those expenses.
I like the final line where it's all net decreases, so. Good job.
Oh, you know it, it's all me.
Any further discussion? Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle, Neese,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Number 4. Bill 4769 to become ordinance 4769, first reading. An ordinance of the city of West Plains to create an entertainment district by adding the following section 50-455 to the city code. Chapter 50 zoning, Article 3 districts, Division 14 entertainment district, Section 50-455 downtown West Plains entertainment district, open cup.
I make a motion to approve Bill 4769 to become ordinance 4769, first reading.
I second.
Good evening.
Hello, you, Emily.
We presented an ordinance that was prepared for planning and zoning earlier this month. Now we're bringing it to council for consideration. After spending a lot of time with, talking with downtown revitalization efforts, the comprehensive planning process, a lot of feedback from the community and kind of businesses in the area. One thing that kind of kept coming to light was the concept of an entertainment district downtown. This can be called several different things depending on where you are and what your goal is to do it with it as a community. We selected entertainment district because the primary thing that would require an ordinance for us for this is to allow open containers to leave an establishment that serves alcohol. So that would give provision for those establishments under their licensing to be able to allow people to buy within their establishment and then walk out. This lets that movement through for when you have special events downtown and different things like that, especially when we do strolls, which aren't necessarily organized festival type events, but it could let more movement, more people out through the downtown area. This also dovetails with an effort through the Missouri Arts Council right now that is identifying cities throughout Missouri to participate in an initial cohort for arts, culture, and entertainment districts. They're very excited about our comprehensive plan, our downtown Main Street connection efforts. And they want us to be part of what they've got going on and vice versa. We'll be able to walk through this process with a lot of other communities throughout the state as well. We do have the map identified. We tried to make as broad of a footprint as we could, so that we don't have to kind of continue to come back, asking for a little more and a little more. There's currently not any particular reason for this that was asked by the planners at their meeting, if there was a certain reason why we might have dipped down a little further south or something like that. At this time, no. We just tried to kind of identify what kind of was, if you guys remember way back in 2009, the DREAM Initiative footprint. This has been what the Main Street folks have been looking at for their downtown efforts. This also encompasses the full Old Time Music Ozark Heritage Festival footprint, as well as other festivals and things like that that happen. So essentially, since it is hard to tell on the overhead map, this takes us up to Broadway, and just north of Broadway, just so we can grab whatever might be coming in on that kind of corner right there. Brings us down south, just a little off the square to the south, and then east-west, we tried to make sure we encompassed the Yellow House, and then all the way over to the east to the Civic Center property. So again, nothing that is certainly planned within that at this time, but this would let the city kind of remove any restrictions we might have to basically get out of the way, and let folks do what they would like to do as they continue to pursue efforts downtown.
Any question? Right, Kelly?
Collins,
Yes.
Merle, Nice,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation.
Item number 5 on the agenda is resolutions. First one is Resolution 2024-03. A resolution by the City of West Plains to approve the appointment of Stephanie E. Carr as city attorney, fixing the compensation of the city attorney, and authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement for legal services. See Exhibit A.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2024-03.
I second.
Motion carries.
All those,
Sorry.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Mayor,
carries.
I do have invited Stephanie Carr to attend our meeting this evening, so she is present, so give her an opportunity to say hi. Stephanie, turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay.
We can.
I really do appreciate this opportunity. I've been involved in the field of municipal law for more than 30 years, and I just enjoy the public service. So I really look forward to the opportunity to work with everybody in West Plains.
And she's indicated she'll be down sometime in April, probably after the eclipse. Meet with staff.
Why?
If she wants to come down during the eclipse, good luck finding a hotel room, but
Yeah.
certainly welcome to. Otherwise, she'll spend a day or two just meeting with departments, meeting with council, just to get acclimated to projects and things. And on that note, obviously, our current city attorney, Charles Cantrell, had indicated his desire to retire at the end of March. So, Charles, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you in the 3 years that I've gotten to do that. Certainly would welcome anybody to roast Charles now at this time, or say good things about him. We can do that too.
Well, I appreciate you mentioning this, because that way you probably reduce the chance of somebody thinking I died when I don't show up next month or got fired. But 30 years flies by, and it's been a pleasure, but West Plains got a lot going for it. And I'm grateful for the chance to be the city attorney for that long, and I pledged as I transition to this next phase of my life to be grateful for every day, take advantage of it. You all have been told many times that years fly by and you need to be grateful for each day, but I'm just here to reaffirm that message.
I truly appreciate you keeping me out of jail for the last 11 years. I know I've pushed it a few times.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm especially thankful for, those of us that are new. You keep us out of trouble. There's a lot more that goes into this than meets the eye when you're just campaigning, but it has been great knowing you had our backs, and it's been a pleasure working with you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Number two, resolution 2024-04, a resolution of the city of West Plains to authorize the city administrator to execute amendment number 3 to an owner engineer agreement with Toth and Associates Incorporated pertaining to a flood prevention project and approving the agreement in its entirety as amended.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-04.
My second.
Mike,
Good evening. This amendment is for we have an existing contract with Toth for the design and construction engineering for the detention basins. We knew this was coming when we were gonna approach basically what would be the second basin, and in this case, that is the Galloway Basin. We had done the same thing with North Fork. Basically same, it's a not to exceed contract working through Terracon. And so we're working through Toth, they're hiring Terracon, they'll review their findings, and then that is how that agreement is set up to work. Any questions?
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Number 3. Resolution 2024-05, a resolution of the city of West Plains authorizing the mayor or city administrator to execute a grant agreement under the fiscal year 2023 Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program with the U.S. Department of Transportation.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-05.
My second.
Good evening. We received the grant for the Safe Streets and Roads for All. It is a partnership with the DOT and it is an 80-20 grant. The way it would work, right now we have it projected as $100,000 grant funds with up to a $25,000 match. We don't spend it all. Those numbers can shift some. The purpose will be to develop a comprehensive safety action plan. And the way we intend to go about it is kind of follow the groundwork that the comprehensive land use plan already provided, with the goal of comprehensive traffic safety. Any questions?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 7, state of the city address. Mayor?
All right. First, thank you to Sam, Earlene, and Cody, and all the staff that assisted with gathering this information. The West Plains City Charter, section 4.4.b states that the mayor during the first quarter of the city's financial year shall present to the council information as to the affairs of the city and any recommendations of the mayor. Tonight, I'd like to take a few minutes to share with you, the council and citizens of West Plains, a look back at a few of the 2023 highlights in this year's planned projects, as well as a glance at our working budget. First, your elected officials, myself and members of the city council, work closely with the finance department and the city administrator on the city budget. The general sales tax revenue was up $182,000. The use tax revenues were up $139,000 from 2022. Capital sales tax were up $72,000 compared to 2022. The transportation sales tax are up $33,000 compared to 2022. In 2023, the voters of the city approved a city sales tax on retail marijuana sales. The sales tax went into effect January 2024, and the first deposit of marijuana sales tax was received in the first week of March. It's too early to provide an estimate for the annual revenues this will bring in, but the staff will keep an eye on the deposits and in the hope of providing an estimate for the 2025 budget process. You know, we could spend hours looking back at the accomplishments of 2023, but I have chosen a few for the highlights. In February here in the council chambers, we made the decision to sell the old Lincoln Schoolhouse to the Oaks family, which today has been transformed into an arts and cultural center for the community. The summer of 2023 saw the completion of the Medical District roadway project. The project added a break in access on US 63, a roundabout at Kentucky and 5th Street, and improvements to Alaska Street between 6th and 9th Street. Also this summer months, we unveiled our new all-inclusive playground equipment in Butler's Children's Park, continuing our efforts to make West Plains Park accessible for all children. Lastly, we adopted the city's comprehensive plan. This is a month's worth of experts that relied heavily on you, the community of West Plains. That comprehensive plan was written with our community needs and wants in mind. Moving on, we look ahead at what 2024 will bring to our community. The Independence Overpass project has made progress. The final plans are with MoDOT for approval. We anticipate going out for bids by the end of this month, March, and work beginning in the July-August timeframe. And currently, you can tell the power lines are being relocated. The Norfolk detention, there we go, is nearly completed. There were slight delays caused by weather and materials. Contracts have been signed to begin dirt work on the Galloway Creek detention basin, and completion of this project should be the end of this summer. In 2023, we had 140 construction permits were issued with a total estimate construction value of $25.4 million. Lastly, please know that the economic development efforts are never ending. Our developers are in constant communication with businesses all shapes and sizes from all over the world. We are proud to be the future home of McAllister's Deli. The new restaurant will sit at the corner of Broadway and US 63, and construction is currently underway. We hope to be able to make more announcements that will shape the future of West Plains soon. Next month, we'll be hosting the Party in the Path, if you hadn't heard, a 4-day celebration culminating with the 2024 total solar eclipse. And by the grace of God, our fair city sits right in the path of totality. Because of this, we can see thousands of visitors come to West Plains. The financial impact to our community could be huge. So hold on loosely. And don't forget your tickets for the 38 special. 38. Thank you. I had it. Thank you, Cody. I would have worked something in about chicken train, but there we go. 2023 was a productive year for the city. It takes dedicated people that makes these things happen, including a city council that commits to work together for the benefit of our residents, and the hardworking staff and crews who care for our city. It's an honor to serve as the 27th mayor of the great city of West Plains. The city's history is undeniable and optimism grows for the future. I want to thank you and may God bless. No further business. We are adjourned.